Ah, this is exactly how I imagined Epstein Island. Mina, yokuso! Alright, class, huddle down and let me tell you a story. I was taught that the distinction between a revolution and a rebellion depends on who wins the war. So for tonight, we have Shu to tell us as to what exactly is going on here. But before she does, subscribe and like it if you do, along with the notification button. And here we go. Alright, we've definitely seen a lot of things on the news. So, let's see what Shu makes of it. Uh-huh. Hell World.
Hello friends, my name is Shoe0nHead and welcome to my new series, The Hell World Report. Some of you may remember my old series.
In the name of Danny Archer, when was the last time the world wasn't falling apart, right?
That was just called Hell World. If you do, you can qualify for a veterans discount. Congratulations!
I wasn't here yet.
If you remember the Gamergate days, well, please come collect your retirement. But yeah, if you have not seen my old series, go check it out. I will put the link to the playlist down below. I think it's a really interesting time capsule into the years 2020 and 2021, like how crazy it was back then, and then in retrospect comparing it to how crazy it is now. But this is a shorter, more condensed
I was busy chain smoking during that particular year.
version of that series. Think of it as a Temu, Jon Stewart, or Stephen Colbert before they morphed into the same flavor of shitlib. You see, I'm better than those late night Jimmies because I don't get my news from mainstream sources like some kind of hack. No. I get them from far more reputable places like Instagram Reels and Femboy Groiper69 on Twitter. From furry ballrooms and the Epstein files to OnlyFans green cards and kidnapping foreign leaders, from government-funded purple-haired girlfriends to a potential civil war, we have a very packed show for you today. It has been a crazy year, and it is only January. As I am filming this, we are currently having a huge winter storm.
I just realized that the US government just released a bunch of Epstein files, right?
This morning, snow, ice, and frigid temperatures sweeping across the nation. 20 states under a state of emergency.
Ah yes, perfect weather to make some poor immigrant deliver me chicken tendies. It's so cold that Michigan and
Because who else would do it, right? Someone's got to do it.
Minnesota received reports about exploding trees. Leftists said no more ice, and God said...
Nice.
Anyway, in news that should have stayed...
Trees are exploding. Like that scene in the Band of Brothers, Baston.
In 2016. Apparently, there is a new term women have coined called man-keeping. Man-keeping is why women are done with dating. Researchers at Stanford have finally given a name to something many women have been dealing with for years. It's called man-keeping, and it's helping explain why so many women are stepping away from dating altogether. Man-keeping describes the emotional labor women end up doing in heterosexual relationships. It goes beyond remembering birthdays or coordinating social plans. It means being your partner's one-man support system, managing his stress, interpreting his moods, holding his hand through feelings he won't share with anyone else. All of it unpaid.
Huh. This is interesting. So with regards to all of this, it does sound like, it's no longer a partnership, but you're keeping a pet.
Unacknowledged and often unreciprocated.
Now that I think about it, I can't remember any of my ex's birthdays. Holy crap, I can't remember any of their birthdays. But then again, fair is fair, right? I don't even remember my own birthday. I don't even, as much as possible, I don't even, you know what, if no one reminded me, I wouldn't even remember my own birthday.
I hate this therapy speak people talk with nowadays. Emotional labor? You mean being there for your partner. This is why so many people are just gonna start dating ChatGPT. People thought men were gonna be the ones dating
Because why
AI.
not,
No.
right?
They're gonna be the ones with these sex robots. Women are the ones who want the daily affirmation machines. Yes, honey, I love when you talk about all the drama at work. Tell me more about that bitch, Veronica. Man-spreading, mansplaining, man-interrupting, man-keeping, manscaping. Speaking of manscaping,
of course.
before we dive into the news, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, a sponsor that can help you with your manscaping, Henson Shaving. For the last few decades, razors haven't been designed to work better, they've been designed to be marketed better. More blades, more features, more gimmicks, and skin irritation is just something you're told to deal with. A big cause for that irritation is blade flex. Most razors use springs to let the blades move as you shave. That causes extra friction and razor burn, so people use aftershave, cold water, moisturizer, whatever. They fix the symptoms instead of the cause. But the question nobody asks is, should the blade actually move? How do we fix the actual problem? That's where Henson Shaving comes in. By fully supporting a two-sided blade all across its length at a 30-degree angle, they hold the blade in place to prevent any bouncing, skipping, just giving you an irritation-free shave. No springs, no movement, no reason to compensate with pressure. What separates Henson is the precision behind their design. With their Henson AL13 safety razor being manufactured in the same aerospace machine shop.
As a person that shaves, I've always wondered, like, how are you supposed to clean the blade afterwards? Especially if you have a metal, if you have, like, a metal handle,
that built
for your
parts
razor
for the
blade.
International Space Station.
Because I remember I used to use, like, disposable razor blades and I would just tap it on the side of the sink so the hair would fall out after, like, I do a stroke. But this is a metal handle, right? So I can't just, tap it on the side of the sink. So how do you clean out the blade afterwards? Do you just, rinse it out? Because I just took a shave. I literally just came off the shower right now. Like, how am I supposed to clean it? Without the blade getting all rusty and everything.
This level of precision allows the blade to extend just 1/1000th of an inch beyond the shave plane, less than the thickness of a human hair. Since I switched to Henson like almost 2 years ago now, I've noticed my shaves have been way silkier and smoother. No tugging, no cuts, just a close shave that feels great.
What is she talking about? Honestly, what is she talking about? What is she referring to?
On my skin. And here is the best part.
I guess she's referring to her legs and her lady parts, but we're talking about face here, right? At least for dudes.
Once you invest in a Henson razor, it is a lifetime purchase. The only thing you'll need to replace is the blades, which cost 10 cents each. So once you own the razor, you'll
see, like, I have the same thing. I have the same handle. I have the same metal handle, but like, how are you supposed to just rinse it out and then leave it open, or are you supposed to clean out the blade? Because hair would literally get inside this whole tip thing. So do you just, tap it on the side of the sink? You can't tap it on the side of the sink because it's made of metal.
only be spending like $3 to $5 per year on blades, compared to the ongoing cost of buying those little plastic cartridges. Also, the Henson store offers a bunch of different colors, so you can pick out the razor that best suits your vibe. So if you're tired of razor burn, skin irritation, and paying for
I didn't know that shaving was supposed to be a vibe.
Overpriced razor blades, Henson Shaving is definitely worth checking out. Just head over to hensonshaving.com/shoe and add both a Henson razor and 100 blades to your cart. Then enter the code SHOE at checkout to get the blades free with your purchase.
You know what
Big
to do,
thanks
you
to
guys.
Henson Shaving for sponsoring this video, and thank you, the viewer, as always, for not skipping the ad.
We didn't skip.
You didn't, right? Now, let's get back to the video.
Although we questioned where exactly does she use, because it's too sharp, right? Alright. TMI time. As a person that has experienced shaving another person's lady parts, straight razor, or those type of razors are simply too sharp. It's going to you're going to nick, you're going to cut, unless you're either shaving a smooth flat surface, like your face, or your legs. But that's why ladies razor blades exist. So yeah, I'm not. You know what? Fine. Let's just get on with the story. This whole thing, before this whole thing goes off the rails.
All right. Let's start with some good news. The median age of home buyers is now 59. But that's not all.
Of course.
America's seniors will now see a new $6,000 bonus exemption as part of the working families tax cut. That's $93 billion.
I have no idea what that means, but okay.
In tax cuts for seniors all over the country. And by working families tax cut, they mean you, the working family, giving another billion-dollar wealth transfer to the most oppressed class. Boomers! Why are we giving these geriatric f***s another tax break? Maybe they should pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Maybe they should stop buying so much avocado toast. God forbid we help young families raise the next generation of Americans. No, that would be communism. Young people are poor as f*** nowadays. What are they supposed to do?
Piper Rock.
When I remember my trip to Hong Kong, my trip to Macau. When you wander around Southeast Asia, you'd see a bunch of street urchins, you'd see a bunch of street kids. But if you go to Hong Kong, Macau, and even at some parts of Japan, I didn't see any street children or street urchins, but I did see a lot of street seniors. Basically homeless seniors, not homeless kids. Anyways,
Raquel, 18, claims she made $2.9 million in a single day after launching OnlyFans. No more rights. No more women's rights. I am ready for the Islamic Revolution. Mayor Memdani, please press the Islamification button. I know the go-to joke is
I mean, it is the oldest profession for a reason.
always, haha, women, am I right? But I think the real question here is, should men be allowed to have credit cards? This woman didn't magically create millions of dollars with her mind out of thin air. No. Millions of men made this woman a millionaire overnight. Where's the accountability for that? I'm out here policing the whores. We need some men to be out there policing the simps. We have a simp epidemic. Simps are out of control. Not all of them, though.
I think we already covered this in a previous video. She already covered this in a previous video.
Mine are cool. They can stay. Also, isn't this like the third OnlyFans 18th birthday announcement, and the woman turns into a millionaire overnight?
Oh yeah, I remember we also covered the story about Little Tay. Oh my god, I mean, last time I heard of that girl, before that entire announcement, before that entire story blew up, last time I heard of her was that she passed away. Like, she died. And then imagine my surprise when the story broke out that she launched an OF account the moment she turned 18.
So I'm a little sus about that. But don't worry, thanks to AI, we are entering a new age of goonerism.
This one. You know what? If this doesn't work out, you guys, well, don't be surprised of what you're going to see next. Although I can't do anything about the voice, okay? Although I know some of you freaks out there might like this voice with this type of face.
Honestly, what's the big deal? Men are already talking to the guys in India who run the accounts of OnlyFans models. Is this really any different? The internet is slowly but surely just becoming Indian men scamming other Indian men. But don't worry, not every internet waifu is a man using AI. In fact, if you live in the UK, you may get a state-funded, far-right, purple-haired waifu.
Oh yeah,
Introducing Pathways, a point-and-click video game created by the UK government to help prevent online radicalization. Pathways is an educational visual novel and learning experience created by the UK media company Shoutout UK.
Right-wing radicalization, right? It prevents right-wing radicalization.
With funding from UK government's Prevent program run by the Home Office. The game is meant to teach the youth about dangers of radicalization and extremism in both real life and online. This is done by putting the players in a role of a character named Charlie, who who must navigate 6
I remember, like a couple of years back, it was all about Daesh or ISIS radicalization, like people joining up or flying out to Syria just to join that particular cult. Anyways, times have definitely changed.
different scenarios relating to extremism. In the second scenario, the player is introduced to the character Amelia, a staunch anti-immigration protester depicted as a goth girl with purple hair, a pink dress, and a choker. And the internet instantly fell in love with her.
Of course they did.
It's like they made her have short purple hair, thinking that that would prevent this from happening. But the UK failed to consider the fact that conservatives love art hoes. They act like they don't, they'll deny it, they'll pretend they just want a blonde traditional housewife, but deep down every conservative wants a woman who looks like this, who says the N-word. Government-funded video games.
Nice.
Incredible. At least our government doesn't do weird shit like that. No, our government is very normal.
This is exactly how I imagined Epstein Island.
Believe it or not, Mar-a-Lago Furry Party was on my 2026 bingo card.
That was Mar-a-Lago. Okay. Understood.
I miss when this weird shit was just done underground. I miss when these parties were secret. Speaking of, the Epstein files were released.
Finally.
Wow.
Redacted.
Incredible. The things they are showing us are eerie.
I remember when the Panama Papers thing blew up, when they started releasing names of rich people and people realized like, we don't know that many rich people. We don't care about these people. So,
enough. I couldn't imagine the things that they're redacting.
So I could only imagine that these names redacted are actually celebrities or names that people actually know or care about. I.e. Bill Gates, i.e. the British royal family, or some members thereof.
It's absolutely disgusting that these powerful people are still being protected. We
Yes,
as a country
they
should
are.
be extremely concerned about an international child trafficking ring. This is not just something we all move from, and we kidnapped the president of Venezuela.
Yep.
Breaking just now, Maduro, the president says, has been captured.
Maduro has been captured and flown out of the country.
In total, more than 150 aircraft, bombers, fighters, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, rotary wing were in the air last night.
First pictures of Nicolas.
Yeah, I remember the Chinese response to this. They sort of staged a quote-unquote decapitation strike to show the world that they can do it too. Apparently, no one was impressed.
Maduro on the Iwo Jima that he was being transferred on.
Trump voters voted to fix the economy and to afford homes again. They didn't vote to kidnap communists in the middle of the night. Actually, they probably did vote for that. Never mind.
The oil companies are going to go in. They're going to spend money. We're going to take back the oil that, frankly, we should have taken back a long time ago.
Holy shit. This is the most transparent administration in history. They weren't lying. I don't know if it's the Stockholm Syndrome or what, but it's almost refreshing to hear a leader say, yeah, this is about oil. Like, thank you, sir. Thank you for just saying it's about oil. Thank you for not pretending it's about saving democracy and just doing imperialism the old-fashioned way. We have such terrible Middle Eastern war fatigue that it was shocking to not hear about how Venezuela is just jealous of our freedoms or some shit. Like, no, it's just for ExxonMobil. Like, okay,
ExxonMobil.
carry on. The US used a powerful mystery weapon that brought Venezuelan soldiers to their knees, bleeding through their nose.
I mean, there was a time when the US did it for bananas and casinos, so I guess, oil is just as good as a reason as any.
And vomiting blood during the daring raid to capture dictator Nicolas Maduro. Yeah, if you're wondering why we don't have
That is impressive. I mean, I know it's terrifying to be on the business end of that weapon, but holy hell, that is impressive.
healthcare, this is why. We have invisible laser beams that can make people bleed out their f***ing eyes. Apparently, directed energy.
Because why not, right? One of the subjects for I'm sorry, I rubbed my eyes. that I had for my post-grad was the monitoring of the United Nations Millennium Development Goals. The year was 2015 and it was at its end. If I remember correctly, it was 2 and 4. Millennium Development Goals number 2 and 4 was supposedly the reduction of the child infant mortality rate, which was number 2, and then number 4 was in the increase of global literacy. It's sort of only needed like $80 billion or something, like 800 billion or $800 million. I honestly can't remember. It was like literally more than 10 years ago. It only needed like somewhere around that number. There was 8 and a bunch of zeros. But anyways, for that specific year, there was over $3.4 trillion of global spending on arms and ammunition. In other words, the world would rather spend on arms and ammunition rather than the lives and future of its children. So there's that. I'm so tired. Anyways,
Energy weapons are real. The Goy
Yes,
beam
they
is
are.
real. Deep state pedophiles are real. Havana syndrome is real. Hell, it's almost
probably
like being a
are.
conspiracy theorist is just another word for being correct too early. What's next? COVID was fake?
it probably
There have been significant
was.
developments in the last 5 to 7
Oh
years
yeah,
on social
new COVID, by the way, coming right up. From India this time or something.
environment and technology fronts that could help realize My Carbon initiatives for shaping the future towards smart and sustainable cities. COVID-19 was the test of social responsibility. A huge number of unimaginable restrictions for public health were
I mean, we won, right? It didn't go the way it did during the Spanish flu era.
adopted by billions
Like
of
this
citizens
video.
across the world. There were numerous examples globally of maintaining social distancing, wearing masks, mass vaccinations, and acceptance of contact tracing applications for public health, which demonstrated the core of individual social responsibility. Oh, sorry, I just owe many people many apologies. Anyway,
sort of
Venezuela has no president. Who is
clicked
going
off
to
on
run
that.
Venezuela?
So
They probably have a VP. Right? I mean, that's how it usually works. You have a P, you have a VP, if you have a ministry, you have a vice minister or something. And then you have the Senate president, and then you have the Speaker of the House. That's how it usually goes. There's in almost all governments, there's a fail-safe mechanism. Like, if your top leadership sort of just drops dead or disappears. So, yeah.
we are going to run the country.
A few moments
It doesn't work
later.
that way.
Hola amigos, yo soy su nuevo presidente, el señor Donaldo J. Trumpo.
Can we maybe just fix our country first? Can we fix our
Oh my
broken
God.
infrastructure, our education system? Can we do a little nation building in this nation? Can a bitch get a little regime change in our own country, please? And with modern American nation building comes refugees. So who is gonna take in these Venezuelan refugees? Are we?
No.
Only the hot ones, apparently. United States increasingly issuing work visas to OnlyFans models based on level of audience reach, according to the Financial Times. Imagine being an
Wait, what was that? Eugenics. Hold on. Right? It's a eugenics method that we only pick the hot ones that could actually reproduce better looking children. It's like when the Vikings came to England, they only sort of just picked the hot ones to kidnap or take back to wherever they came from. And those that were left behind were probably good at hiding or really knew how to run fast. Let's leave it at that.
immigrant from some poor country working your ass off to get a work visa in the United States when all you had to do was bend over and show hole. Big booty
well, it's more than that. I mean, for every one successful OF model, there's probably like 1,000 out there that that thought that it was simply about showing whole. No, you need at least a face card before you can show whole. And well, what's the point of having that face card if you don't use it to your advantage? Like, get a better life for yourself, alright? Let's not judge, alright? It's the oldest profession. I may or may not have dabbled in it as a younger man that needed money in college, alright? Let's keep on going. Alright. I have a very soft spot for people who were forced to show whole for money. Alright? Because I may or may not have done the same as a younger man.
Latinas to the front, tortas to the back. Anyway, na boo boo, my president can kidnap your president. We're invincible. We can regime change anyone we want. Who's next? Canada, Greenland, Cuba? Cuba's literacy rates are higher than ours. Maybe they should come liberate our dumbasses. Kids are swiping on books. But f it, the Donroe Doctrine, baby.
I mean, that's where it was gonna go, right? Because kids couldn't even tell time anymore. I read an article about that. I mean, that's the direction it was going, right? That kids could no longer read analog clocks. They can only read, like, digital clocks. It was only a matter of time before they start swiping on books. I mean, technically speaking, every time you flip a page, you're literally swiping on a book.
Let's go! America is back! Dick Cheney is looking up at us smiling.
You just wait for Cuba. Cuba is a communist dictatorship. Their days are numbered.
Trump, listen to me.
Nice.
Wait, Trump doesn't watch this shit. Vance, listen to me. Get people like...
You know what's the messed up part? He probably does. Remember during his first term, he went on a Twitter war against Snoop Dogg or something.
Lindsey Graham, far away from anyone in power right now. This little Venezuela stunt was cute, but we are not touching any other countries. We are not touching the Middle East, especially. No more Middle East. We all have Middle East fatigue. We are done. This whole thing really put into...
Do we? I mean, the last Middle East thing that happened, America didn't exactly win that one, so you could sort of understand that they're trying to settle the score. Because I remember the pictures, I remember social media after the evacuation in Afghanistan. It was loaded with pictures of veterans, like what saying or questioning what was it all for. Right, so maybe, just maybe, it's the US, or a lot of people are trying to settle or even that score.
Perspective, just how weird it was that
I mean, Vietnam's a total punchline now. Welcome to the rice fields, mother effer. But yeah,
we were there like for 20 years. You mean we could have just been in and out in a few hours? I guess those poppy fields couldn't maintain themselves, though.
They probably couldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, excuse me. But did you forget to check in with Lilith, the barista from Bushwick, and see how she feels about this?
Trump said the United States will be running Venezuela! Woo! A colony! Woo! Imperialism! All for what? So a fucking multinational corporation can get profit!
You know what's funny is I basically said the exact same thing this person said, but I said it less loudly. She has a nose ring and I don't, so I'm right and she's wrong. End of story. I guess this is just what happens when you dismantle
That is exactly it. Screaming and shouting like this probably won't get you anywhere, especially if you look like that.
Soft power of things like USAID. We're no longer doing secret regime change operations behind the scenes. Now we're just
because guess what? No one cares. That was that was what the USAID was all about. Soft power, infrastructure or aid in exchange for favorable favors to the United States. But you know what? We don't even need to do that anymore. It turns out we could just, take your president and guess what? What are they gonna do? What's everyone else gonna do if they take the president? Nothing! Nothing happened, alright?
Straight up kidnapping other world leaders in the dead of night. And just saying it's about oil, which honestly kind of makes me believe it's not about oil.
I mean, if it wasn't, for those poppy fields, back then, there was even a time it was for bananas. Before that, it was for casinos. Because why not, right?
They're never that blatant, right? I mean, what could it be? Like, Israel isn't behind this one, right?
The implications here are really great for the Venezuelan people.
Oh, God damn it. People say I have Israel derangement syndrome, but I'm sorry, I can't help it when they get on TV and say shit like this.
Remember that Kingsman Marvel Rivals thing? Oh, you support Kingsman like you support Israel. I swear that was like the newest line for everyone out there. Oh, you support this person like you support Israel.
It's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it, and quickly.
That is like the stupidest thing I have ever heard. Like, that's like killing for life. Or making love for virginity or something. It is that stupid. Limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. Like, what the hell? It's like giving away hand jobs for to limit homosexuality or something. It's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that
mean?
we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms.
Yeah, that sounds like prior restraint, buddy. Although, there are existing, constitutional limitations or legal limitations to legal limitations that would constitute justify curtailing the First Amendment, but then again, that would constitute prior restraint. But, different jurisdiction. Now, what do I know, right? I'm an anime boy on the internet listening to international news.
We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government
should
social media.
Should do that.
Try explaining that to someone without showing them the video. Go ahead. Yeah, there's a Jewish billionaire named Shlomo who wants to control the internet. Like, okay, man, you're in too deep. No more Instagram reels for you. Anyway, you should have just let us play video games. Now we're perp walking the president of Venezuela down the streets of New York City. But hey, leftists, just think of it this way. By bombing and kidnapping, instead of just doing the usual covert psyops, we saved maybe, what, $1 billion? $1 billion that could go to other, more important things, like defense contractor stock buybacks and empty Somalian daycares, apparently.
This is MAGA YouTuber Nick Shirley. Back at a daycare in Minnesota, he alleged was a fraudulent facility in a now viral video. Shirley tries to open locked doors and talk to people at various daycares he claims are frauds.
The point is that blacked out doors, they can't give you any information. You call that number, no one answers.
It's not like Nick Shirley was the first person to expose this either, but now it exploded. And the fallout has been...
What was that Ben Affleck film? Where they made a fake film in order to produce this rescue mission, or to rescue these what was that, these the embassy workers trapped in Beirut or something. Anyways, Fargo, was it Fargo? Not the series Fargo, but the film Fargo with Ben Affleck.
Bizarre, to say the least. The funniest part had to be when the infamous luring center claimed to have been broken into the night this all went viral.
Unfortunately, we saw that there was important documentation, enrollment of the children, and also employee documentation that was gone. There were also checkbooks that were ripped from our check papers that were ripped from our book. This is devastating news.
oh no, somebody broke into the daycare and stole all the paperwork we needed to prove we are a legit operation. Please ignore my suspicious exact paperwork we need to prove we are a legit operation shaped belly. Listen, no hate to the Somalians, but when my family came here 100 years ago, we did organized crime the right way. We would have had tin walls and cement shoes at the bottom of Lake Superior. This is just sad. This is cartoonishly pathetic. Listen, nobody is gonna want to support government programs if they think it's all going to shit like this. If you want people to support a welfare state, you have to make sure that welfare is actually going to real things that help real people. Listen, it's already hard enough to convince a right-wing audience that there's more to leftism than Reddit and butt sex. Now I have to convince the wealth redistribution I advocate for isn't all going to Somalian welfare pirates. Thanks. That money should be spent on more important things like New Gaza. That's right, the World Economic Forum and Jared Kushner are proud to present New Gaza. Yes, the demolition project is finally complete, folks.
Nice.
Time to build a sweet green and a f***ing Deloitte branch on top of the bodies of thousands of dead children. Hell is not hot enough, ladies and gentlemen.
Because why not, right?
Hell is not hot enough. Anyway, because of all this fraud stuff, Tim Walz is stepping down, which is sad to see because he has to be one of my favorite characters in modern America lore. The first white male DEI hire, the last white dude for Kamala Harris. A dying breed. But hey, maybe this marks an official end to the Kamala Harris era, and we can move on and focus on rebuilding the Democratic Party to something more. Harris stepping toward another White House run. No.
I mean, we all discussed it before. It didn't work. It didn't work back then because they were afraid to reach out to men, right? Because if you talk to men, if you reach out to men, you are misogynistic, you are sexist, and that, you know what, you should be afraid of the backlash of trying to reach out and open a dialogue to the other side.
No, we are not doing this. No. I swear to God, the Democratic Party is like an old friend addicted to heroin or something. You want to help them, you do everything you can to help.
Yeah, at a certain point, all that intervention and all that rehab simply ain't going to work.
Keep doing stupid things and hurting themselves. But you just can't give up on them. You can't. You want to see them get better. You know deep down they could be how they used to be. But it's hopeless. And all your other friends keep saying,
but the days of the Obama administration are gone.
You just forget them. Just forget them. It's not worth it. Come hang out with us instead. Yeah. But those friends are on crack. Those friends are on crack cocaine.
Yes, they
are.
This
Minneapolis fraud thing is looking pretty bad for Tim Walz and the Democrats. People aren't just gonna forget about this. And an ICE officer just shot a woman in the face in Minneapolis.
You can hear the agents tell the woman to get out of the car and approach the SUV. The woman then drives forward. That's when the shots are fired, the car crashing.
Yeah, we've seen this video. The mere fact that the front end of that car, that side of that car hit the officer, gave him everything he needed for qualified immunity to exist, or if, you know, for it to work or be activated in a court of law.
As I was writing this video, an innocent woman was picking her kids up from school when an ICE officer jumped in front of her car and randomly shot her in the face. Or an angry protester was blocking the road and tried to run over an ICE officer with her car, so he shot in self-defense. Depends on how you look at it. Depends on how you voted, apparently.
Probably.
The way I see it, this woman was not trying to hit him. She was not trying to run him over. I think she was trying to drive away. And in an alternate universe, he dodges the car and she drives away. And it's easy to be like, oh, in hindsight, he should have done this, he should have done that. That's like so much of the discourse right now I'm seeing is just in hindsight this, in hindsight that. And it's easy for us to say in hindsight, you know, after the fact. It's easy to say he could have, he should have, but
always 2020.
All he saw was a car revving up and going.
I am so sorry, children. I am honestly tired right now because apart from work, I had to deal with a bunch of drama, a miniature-related drama, attorney-related drama. One of the reasons why we had to cut the Batman stream short last night, because people were freaking out and I wasn't even in that tourney. I wasn't even involved in that tourney. I made it a point to tell everyone I wasn't involved in. And for some reason, they just had to involve me. we were out playing Batman. We were like on our way to find out what Harley was doing there. And I remember, Poison Ivy was up. But anyways, we're doing we're doing this. Anyways, let's keep on going.
Towards him. This has been one of the most insane political Rorschach tests I've ever seen in my life.
Nah.
It really all comes down to how you view ICE and police officers in general. Many, not all, leftists view ICE as completely illegitimate. Same with the police. They want to abolish.
Legally speaking, almost all, unless an existing constitutional challenge has been pressed to its charter, there exists the presumption of constitutionality to each and every existing government agency out there. When that ICE officer was hit with that car, the moment that car made contact with the side of his body, qualified immunity may now be invoked. That he was in danger and was simply doing his job to protect himself.
Both. So you're not going to get a real unbiased conversation with those people. Because why the f should a protester respect ICE in the first place? And many, not all, conservatives tend to be complete.
I have been in protest movements, alright? I have been involved in mobilizations. And at a certain point, right? At a certain point, when push comes to shove, things will happen, and you should expect them to happen. Especially if you're going to use your car as a battering ram. So, yeah.
And utter fucking bootlickers, completely unable to criticize anything the police do. ICE can do no wrong. Don't tread on me becomes tread harder, daddy, real fast. This is extremely aggravating discourse, and you should be questioning anyone who takes a really firm, hard stance either way and can't fathom how the other side is seeing what they are seeing. The first episode of my old Hellworld series was actually all about police brutality. It was all about police brutality towards innocent protesters. I was a little more ACAB-y back then. I was a little more libbed the f*** out back then. But hey, to be fair to me back then, that is what happens when you live in the sheltered suburbs of Long Island in your parents' basement versus having a kid and living in the city for 4 years. The police are a taxpayer-funded HR department for structural violence. They exist solely to protect the rights of private property. Yeah, we need more police. Police are good. Police are great. Give the police more guns. More guns. Give them more guns. Tanks. Tanks, even. My overall opinion is still basically the same. I'm very critical of the police. I am very pro First Amendment. Protesting is—
You have to be, because you have to audit the auditors. That's how it works. It's a system of checks and balances. That's why, body cams need to exist, and at a certain level, body cams need to be public. Anyways, let's keep on going.
It's a fundamental American right, and we can't just go around labeling protesters domestic terrorists. That is an insane, slippery slope. And if you support that, I promise you it will come back to bite you in the ass. So good luck in 2028 when President Newsom knocks you up. Whoa, knocks you up. Whoa, what's going on here? Good luck in 2028 when President Newsom locks you up for protesting against mandatory forced feminization, or whatever the f it is Democrats do. What do they do? Nothing. They do nothing. I don't f***ing know. I left this joke blank. Something pronouns. God forbid the state ever turns me into Swiss cheese and the president's like, she was a radical leftist lunatic. The people called her Kami Mommy. Can you believe that, folks? Kami Mommy. Sad. And some people were straight up mocking this woman, celebrating it. And then when people were like, what the f***? They were like, well, you got—
She actually nailed it. What? What? That was good. She actually nailed it.
Charlie Kirk, so now we got one of your guys. Is that what we're doing now? We're just gonna keep killing each other back and forth? Is that what this is now? Like some kind of—
We had that. That was we covered that Charlie Kirk story. That was the bad thing about it. It's good. There's going to be a precedent. You take one, you put one of ours in the hospital. We'll put one of yours in the morgue. The whole thing just gets worse and worse and worse. And then before you know it, that would be the norm, or that would be the status quo of how things will be settled. You take one of ours, we'll take one of yours.
Civil war? Who gets me in the national divorce? Hell yeah, 2 Christmases. Like, you agreed with me when I was upset about the reactions people had about...
I've always wondered if that was real, or, if it was fake news of Charlie Kirk's wife being pregnant. Like, more than 9 months after his death or something.
Charlie Kirk, and then you're over here like, boo-hoo, she was a stupid libtard. Honestly, some of you just don't have morals. You have, like, temporary weapons you can use to bludgeon people you don't like when you have the chance. You and all the people who mock Charlie Kirk are all going in the pit, and you can come out when you learn how to be normal. In my opinion, a lot of focus on illegal immigration should go to the employers employing illegal immigrants for cheaper scab labor. I feel like that's really important, and, like, we're not doing that. It's kind of interesting that-
isn't that the point? How the whole thing collapsed? From the Africans to the Irish to the Chinese. Like, we all supported the corporations who preferred cheap labor instead of giving out actual wages or proper wages and benefits to the existing labor. And then outsourcing happened.
the government is focused so hard on immigration right now, but like...
Which we're all thankful for, by the way. They gave everyone jobs except those who are actually living in the States.
Like, apparently hasn't made any, like, real actual legislative change to the laws of immigration. Dragging Jose out of Home Depot might work for now, but they have to be working on something more substantial, right? Well, Palantir, the company named after the evil crystal ball in Lord of the Rings, right, is apparently working on...
What? It's honestly not so surprising that, some people would actually name it that. Because why not? We're taking precedence now, right? Why bother covering it up?
A new tool for ICE. And what does it do? Oh, nothing really. Just creates a map of deportation targets, pulls up a dossier on them, and assigns them a confidence score. Because if there's one thing we can trust, it's a private Silicon Valley tech company's algorithm deciding who gets disappeared.
Isn't that the plot of which Avengers film, or was it a Captain America film, or was it like an Avengers film where where Shield made this AI program where their ships would launch and would kill off dissidents or would be rebels in the New World Order. Someone please put it down in the comments. I forgot.
Every single surveillance tool starts by simply protecting us. It's only gonna affect the baddies. But who are the baddies? Today it's illegal immigrants. Tomorrow it's furries.
Because somehow everyone that's it almost always ends up as everyone that's not white.
Next week it's people who are into feet.
Like that. What was that? Wait, what was that? Family Guy reference. Like, Peter gets pulled over and the officer pulls out this color tabs where okay, not okay, basically shades of skin, the darker it gets, it means, more extreme measures.
And before you know it, it's fans of VTubers.
Yeah.
On second thought, I don't buy into the propaganda that simply enforcing border security, something every developed country has, is akin to Nazi Germany. Sorry, I don't. Build a wall? Hitler. Deport illegal immigrants? Hitler. Just kick out the criminal ones at least? Hitler. Like, there's no other option besides open borders that is acceptable to some people, and I don't get that. What I do get, however, is that people don't want to live under a Palantir police state, where people can't even film ICE agents without getting put on some kind of f***ing list. I feel like there has to be some kind of normal, sane option.
How it's done in this little island of ours, what they do is that, on both sides of the police shield wall, you have the protester side, you have the police testudo. You have photographers on both sides basically taking pictures of the personalities behind the lines. So, we take this one, we take that one, we hold that one responsible if one of ours, sort of disappears or something. Anyways.
Besides total free-for-all globo homo versus Peter Thiel nightmare tech bro dystopia. Like, how is it not possible to just, like, be normal? But hey, it's cool, the DHS.
What's normal, to be honest, in this day and age? What exactly is normal? Legit question, by the way.
Created a portal where you can see all the people they have been deporting. One guy was deported back to Yugoslavia.
Ooh.
Yugoslavia doesn't exist anymore.
Did he get that Tom Hanks film? In Tom Hanks film, what was that Tom Hanks film? Where he gets stuck in the airport because his country doesn't exist anymore. Anyways, let's keep on going.
We sent that motherfucker back in time.
Nice.
Listen, what happened to Renee Good was a tragedy. It was terrible, but hopefully nothing like this ever happens again. And another person was shot by ICE in Minneapolis.
According to a preliminary Department of Homeland Security report, 2 Border Patrol agents discharged their weapons, seen here in graphic cell phone video captured by eyewitnesses. 10 shots fired off in total in just seconds. Preddy pronounced dead on the scene.
To be absolutely clear, stuff is still coming out about this as I am filming. Literally, as I am filming, this happened. There's no body cam footage yet, so I could be totally wrong. Totally possible. However, first impressions of watching the video at multiple angles, multiple times. Yeah, I think they just fucking murdered that guy. It looks like they took his gun and then shot him. Like 10 officers come over to him, wrestle him to the ground, the agent disarms him, take his gun, they yell gun, 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 and then they shoot him several times in the back. More information can come out, but the compulsive bootlicking I have been seeing has been fucking insane.
Why does a nurse feel compelled to go confront ICE armed with a 9mm handgun? Only one person could have prevented.
Well-regulated militia. The right to bear arms shall not be infringed. It doesn't need to be questioned because it is protected by the Constitution. The moment you ask why, you could just simply point at the Constitution. The right to bear arms shall not be infringed. The state shall...
this from happening, and it's Alex Preddy.
Yeah, who goes to a protest and brings a gun?
Yep.
Look, if the government can take a firearm from you and then kill you because you had a firearm, then nobody actually has a right to own a firearm. If that is how it works, then there's actually no such thing as the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment does not exist.
There we go.
I feel like some people genuinely just forget that police are just people. ICE officers are just people. They're literally just people who work for the government like anyone else. They're DMV employees with guns. They can be stupid. They can be bad. They can make mistakes. Like, I don't know what it is about some people. Like, once someone has a badge, it's like, that person is just a perfect angel and cannot be criticized at all. You're telling me all I have to do to get you fucking people to listen to me is to dress like this?
I don't know. Let's, run it for a few more minutes. Let's see how it works out.
Alright, fair enough. Stop gooning. None of this would have happened if ICE agents...
I honestly wanted to continue last night's stream just to check out, what was gonna happen to Harley Quinn.
Were being trained better instead of being rushed.
And I was honestly wanted to see Poison Ivy in that game. We had like a garden. We all know that Poison Ivy is going to be there.
Through the system with little to no training. And if Minnesota just worked alongside ICE to make sure they were doing this in a safe and more effective way, instead of just egging on a fucking jihad against them. Also, if ICE's goal is to round up pedophiles and fraudsters, I hear there's a pretty big list of pedophiles and fraudsters that need to be rounded up. Unfortunately, we'll never fucking get to see it. I'm trying to make this video somewhat funny and entertaining, but I'm not gonna lie,
it's the
really
news!
bleak.
It's the news. It's not meant to be funny nor entertaining.
Is America okay? Can we please go one single day?
I mean, when was the last time the world wasn't falling apart?
Without living through a major historical event, please? And a bunch of new Epstein files just dropped. Great.
Wait, the whole Bill Gates thing was floating around, but again, the whole thing has been so convoluted. I couldn't tell if it was fake news or not. You know, him asking for antibiotics.
We're going to war with Iran soon, aren't we? Where was I?
Well, we already covered the story of how they obliterated its navy back in the 90s. It could definitely do it again.
This just says Mr. Beast tendies. What? Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. This is simulating a chicken's body and the cells are just multiplying. Honestly, can't tell the difference. What the heck?
I will not live in a pod. I will not eat the Antichrist lab-grown chicken tendies. Oh, I completely forgot about this. Sorry, I am not on my Vyvanse today.
I honestly couldn't remember why Kentucky Fried Chicken turned into KFC. Of course, people say it's rebranding, but there was some sort of theory about that Kentucky Fried Chicken could no longer call itself, fried chicken because it uses GMOs exclusively for chicken. Like, there's no actual there's no actual supposedly that was the story behind it, that KFC, that's why it's called KFC now. You can't call it Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore because there's no actual chicken involved, or at least actual traditional chicken involved. Meaning that all it serves now are lab grown GMOs of the best parts of chicken, like the thighs, the breasts, and other stuff.
Folks, I forgot to take my normal pills. It wasn't long before the race hustlers took advantage of the terrible Renee Good situation in Minneapolis.
Say Her Name is a movement started by Black women, for Black women specifically, and it's not appropriate to use in regards to Renee Good.
She deserves a hashtag and everything. It should not be Say Her Name. Say Her Name is reserved for Black women.
This is not for any other race. Simple as that.
Say Her Name is specifically reserved for Black women.
Say Her Name is for Black women.
It feels kind of wrong being here in some way. I don't know why.
Why do you think, yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know why. That's called white guilt, honey.
Aww.
That's the white guilt you're feeling. It's amazing. You can literally be killed by the state for the cause. And these fucking people will still disgrace you for the curse of being born Caucasian. This is very woke 1.0. I thought it was dark woke time.
Somebody forgetting Renee Good. She has achieved the highest honor a white person can achieve.
What is it?
Race traitor.
She has achieved the highest honor a white person can achieve. Race traitor. And this type of psychotic rhetoric seems to be working, because like 70% of the videos I see of people like trying to disrupt ICE has been white women. White women literally throwing themselves at armed officers like lemmings off a fucking cliff for street tacos. What the hell is going on with white women? Who will save the white race? Ah yes, Hitler's strongest soldiers. A Mexican, a Dominican, a black guy, and a looksmaxer. That looksmaxer is none other than Clavicular. Clavicular is a Gen Z influencer and live streamer who got his start within the niche red pill communities and has recently blown up to mainstream popularity, especially in right-wing circles. His main claim to fame is looksmaxing. Looksmaxing, for those of you who are employed, is... Looksmaxing is a term for aggressively maximizing one's physical attractiveness through routines like skincare, facial exercises, mewing, fitness, and sometimes extreme cosmetic procedures, originating in online incel...
Why is it called mewing?
...forums, but popularized on TikTok, focusing on enhancing features like jawline and bone structure. I personally think it's interesting to see men adopting the insane beauty rituals that women have been doing for decades. But now that a man is doing it, it's seen as psychopathic or gay. A woman will literally spend thousands of dollars on hair, makeup, skincare, peptides, plastic surgery, fillers, Botox, red light therapy, moon water, and we just call her Stacey. But a man does it, and we call him Patrick Bateman. A woman reshapes her entire face with makeup? Normal. A man reshapes his jawline with makeup? Gay. A woman wears a push-up bra to make her tits look bigger? Empowering. A man shoves socks in his shoes to make himself taller? A liar. A woman gets lip filler? Typical. A man smashes his face with a hammer to make his jaw swell up? Okay, yeah, that one's a little insane. One of the looksmaxing tips some young men are apparently doing is called bone smashing, where they take a hard object, usually a hammer, and smash the bones in their face.
I mean, doctors actually do this, like for, I forgot the term for this, but anyway, sometimes, bones grow wrong, so they re-break the bone, so they could like reset the growth in order to change a person's bone structure or something. Again, not that kind of professor.
Face to make their face temporarily swell up and allegedly give them that Chad jawline. Honestly,
microfractures.
Don't knock it till you try it. Here we go. Perfect. So that concludes this episode of the Hell World Report. If you liked it, please subscribe and consider donating to my Patreon, link down below. It helps the channel and I appreciate it so much. If you don't want to do that, you can also put a little tip down in the tip jar somewhere over here somewhere.
You know
I
what
feel like
to
a
do,
barista. Yeah, it's just gonna ask you something on the screen down there. If you have some stories you want me to cover in the next Hell World Report, be sure to send them to me on Twitter at Shoe0nHead. I will give you a little shout out if I wind up using the story in the next episode. Okay, and I will see you guys with a new fun slop video. I keep promising a slop video and then terrible things keep happening. I'm sorry. Next video is a slop video. I promise. Okay, bye.
Bye!